I just think that if that fight did materialise, I think he doesn't know what he's getting himself in for. It would be a bad night for JJ. I really, really think it would be a bad night. I don't think JJ wants those kind of problems. I've said it to Joey online. I'll say it to Joey in person. I'll stand in the middle of that ring. I'll bite down on my gum shield and I'll go to war with Joey, no problem.
I've never heard a fella that talks so much shit and says so little at the same time. He's a fucking idiot.
We will throw bombs, and that's what the people want to see. So we're here to put on a show. So let's go.
Hello and welcome back to Misfits News, now again on DAZN and the Misfits YouTube channel. I'm your host, as always, Ben the Bane Davis, joined by my co-host, BL. We've got some interesting updates to the world of crossover combat sports, but before we get into all of that, BL, how are you?
Ben, it's great to have you on as always, and we've got such an exciting episode ahead of us. But before, let me give you today's topics. That being Joe Weller and Danny Aaron's discuss their potential boxing fight. We go to the Misfits community questions and we hear from all of you. We may have something exclusive dropping on Wednesday the 13th. And to end the episode off, we have a face-to-face.
I love it. Can't wait to get to it. But let's kick things off and talk about this potential beef and fight between Joe Weller and Danny Aaron's. BL, can you walk me through exactly what's gone down between the two guys?
So Danny Aaron's actually joined Joe Weller in the Waffling podcast, and they had a little confrontation, I'd like to say, and they spoke about a potential fight, which Joe Weller actually responded quite interestingly.
Mate, part of me is like, I'd love to, and like, I'd rather it just be tomorrow. Weller versus Danny Aaron's, except it's like in 5 minutes.
It's done.
The whole build-up, taking it over my whole life, mate.
No, I agree.
It's just so detrimental, and I'm just weighing up, like, I'm like finding myself in tears. I'm finding myself like not like the opposite of someone that should now be going in to fight someone. If I can sign to it like 48 hours before,
not for
let's
real. Like
fucking do that. Should we just do that?
Who does win?
Weller.
Danny.
Well, unfortunately, that is kind of part of it, Joe. You know, there is a fight build-up, a fight camp that you have to go through, and it is nerve-wracking. I'm not trying to discredit his anxiety at all or minimize it. That is very real. But if you are interested in competing, that is unfortunately part of it. You know, you can't have one without the other. I'd like to see him. You know, Joe Weller, Danny Aaron's. I think that's an interesting one. I don't really know who would win that though, right? I mean,
if you had to choose one, who would you bet on?
It's not really fair to put me in this position. I'm going to go with Danny Aaron's. I'm going to go with the guy that has, fought more recently, has been training this year, has been focused on boxing. No disrespect to Joe Weller, but it has been many years, I'd say, since we've seen him compete. Who knows exactly how much he's been training? So I think I'll have to err on the side of one Danny Aaron's.
I have to agree with you there, especially when I was in Danny Aaron's gym when we did that shoot in Dublin. What he did in the gym does not replicate what he was doing on fight night. And I know that happens with a lot of fighters, but there is a lot to see with Danny Aaron's. He has massive potential and he trains hard. He is in fantastic shape. And Joe Weller, I don't want to discredit him. However, the last time out we did see him, he didn't perform on the night and massively underperformed as well. So whether he can overcome those fears and get back in the ring and perform against someone like Danny Aaron's, who has been in there, who did get the draw against someone that was tough, I'd love to see it. But the big thing is Joe Weller back to Misfits. That's what I want to see, Ben.
Now, before we move on to our next topic, I want you all to scan the QR code that is on your screen and get your fight ticket. November 28th is the Qatar Supercard. You simply do not want to miss this one. Gibb versus Slim, Ben Williams versus Jarvis. Jay Swingler is back in action against Nick Lamau. Get to Qatar, scan the QR code, get your tickets, and we hope to see you there. But if you're not able to get to Qatar, make sure you buy the pay-per-view live on DAZN.
The Qatar Supercard, I cannot wait to be there with you, Ben. But it's been a while since we've heard from the community, so why don't we go to the community, ask the questions that need to be heard? Well, let's start off the Misfits community questions with J Sports Takes asking, in your opinions, what are your top 3 Misfits cards so far in 2024?
Certainly not Nashville. I think we can safely put that one at the bottom. You know, that does take the lowest spot on the totem pole.
It's my favorite, personally.
That was your favorite? Oh, boy. I think Dublin for me is that top spot. I think I'd give that the gold. It had everything. It had KSI performances. It had some very great finishes, some super fun fights. I think right behind that, maybe Newcastle. We finally got the Stake Pro tournament, which was really exciting. I know for a lot of these Misfits fans, they don't know Benson Henderson, but to have a mixed martial arts legend, a pioneer like Ben Henderson come in and fight was fantastic. And then you had big star-making performances like Kells with that comeback victory over Big Tobes, and Elle Brooke in her second consecutive main event getting the W. So I think that's the silver medal. And for me, what was the bronze? What was the third best Misfits event? Maybe Leeds, right? January that had
Leeds was
the
great. The start of the year.
Fox the G, Small Spartan J. Yeah, I think that had that's very close to me. Leeds and Newcastle are very close, and then Dublin is just like, a half a level above them both. But what are your top three?
So my top three, I guess it's my own experience as well as the fights itself. I would say for me, number one was Dublin. It was a spectacle. Not only did we have the boxing, but we also had KSI performing there. We got the exclusive KSI song there. We were the first to ever hear it, which was great. At number two, I would say for my personal experience, I did enjoy Miami. It was good fun. And that was for my own personal reasons, as well of it being a really fun card. At number three, I'm going to have to agree with you with Leeds. I think we kicked off the year with such a fun event, especially when we had all the fighters run to the ring. We had B-Day, Swarms, Ed Matthews in there. It was complete chaos. And then Pineda came out. What a main event that was. That was the epitome of Misfits, in my opinion. Our penultimate question is, why can't Deji just fight Alex Wasabi? Alex Wasabi hasn't fought in years as well.
I think that's a really fair question, to be honest with you. I think that the more I mull it over in my brain, Alex Wasabi and Deji rematch on Qatar does make a lot more sense than pretty much anyone else. I hear Deji and his team and their concerns about wanting a tune-up, but everybody else on the Supercard is taking big challenges. Everybody else is taking big risks. And for Deji, he has a lot more experience than Alex Wasabi, right? So I don't know. I think that there is an element of, come on, Dej, run the rematch, get it out of the way, and let's do this without a tune-up.
Well, let me throw it to you as well. Do you want to use all your chips on one card? Which some people argue happened on the Prime card. We utilized so many huge fights that later on in the year, we couldn't use them. I think this is a good strategic move going into the next year where you got another event to look forward to. You're not there going, oh, why have we got this event? Why is that not happening? Because now Deji versus Wasabi is going to happen next year. You're going to get the proper build up to that. So we're just utilizing our chips properly. That's in my opinion.
And that's a great point. But here's what I would say, and you know exactly where my head's going at. Why not put Alex Wasabi against the tune-up?
I agree. No, 100%. I'm on the same card.
And then get him in the ring. Yeah, no.
For our next question by KXNT Designs, he asks, will there ever be another Survivor tag team match?
I hope. I think that was one of the gimmicks that Misfits tried that did work somewhat successfully. It was very, very entertaining. I think that they had some excellent names that participated in it. I just want to see the tag team division return. I think that really was a level of depth that we had to this organization that set us apart from so many other boxing shows. It gave us great storylines. I mean, B-Dave and Luis Pineda is such an iconic tag team, and the fact that we don't have this as a consistent part of the brand is sad to me. I wish we had tag teams a lot more. Maybe Survivor tag matches, cool, but man, I would put a tag team matchup on every card if I could.
Well, my little exclusive is Misfits Mountain, I believe we're going to see next year.
A couple episodes, we made some comments talking about Dave Fogarty being back to McGregor's camera guy. BL, that was a bit of a dick move from you, so we're going to apologize and bring the man himself on today. Dave, how you doing, sir?
How's it going, lads? Thanks for having me on. Yeah, BL, I think I'm owed an apology.
I actually want to take a moment to apologize for absolutely nothing. The double champ does what the fuck he wants. No, it's great to have you on, Dave.
No, thanks for having me on, lads. Really appreciate it.
Dave, let's kick things off and talk about your Misfits debut, which was for the lightweight belt, man. Talk about a big spotlight, big opportunity in Dublin. How were you finding the fight? I mean, you had a lot of success early.
I'm over it now, but I'm still sick about it. So I thought the fight was going great. It was going exactly like I had planned out. The game plan was working perfectly. The plan was to use that jab to interrupt him. It was going perfectly. I was only getting going. I said it all week, and I'll say it every week. I have stamina for days. My cardio was through the roof. I had done a 12-week long hard camp. Leading up to that, I was sparring 10 rounds consecutive. I'd stay in every round. A new fresh opponent would come in. So I knew I was good for days. So it was going exactly the way that I had planned it to go. It was going exactly the way I told everybody it was going to go. And then he got me. I will say I knew going into it that he had that puncher's chance. I knew it wasn't going to be outboxed. It was like I was telling everyone was saying there was this huge discrepancy in skill. I knew there wasn't. I don't think there's anybody in the lightweight division that can outbox me.
I want to switch gears slightly. Last time I saw you was actually in Marbella, Spain, and you were able to get us that amazing Conor McGregor interview. I sort of want your reaction to that. What did you make of it when McGregor actually said, KSI, I'll fight you for that song alone?
Conor was just messing. I don't know what his feelings are. I just think that if that fight did materialize, I don't think JJ knows what he's getting into, and it's no disrespect to KSI or to the Misfits organization. Man, I love Misfits, but I don't think JJ wants those kind of problems. I think he doesn't know what he's getting himself in for. Conor is a beast. Conor's an animal. I've seen Conor up against unbelievable level boxers, and he's just having his way with them. And I just don't think that I don't think JJ knows what he's getting into. Saying he's going to knock Conor out is it's just laughable. Conor has immense power in that hand. He's hard to deal with. He's long. He's rangy. Got power in both hands. I just think it would be a bad night for JJ. I really, really think it would be a bad night.
I do want to ask you about the possibility, the low probability rather, of Conor McGregor on Misfits.
I will say one thing about Misfits and Mams. They get they get it done. They get shit done. So I can see them coming. They've had big stars in the past compete on it. There's no ego as well. I think we're all in agreement when it comes to a KSI versus Conor. There's no doubt who the A side here is. So I think that if they can come to an agreement, I think it could happen. I think that it's not the craziest thing in the world to think about Conor McGregor back in a boxing ring, and if it happens, I'd love to be on the undercard.
Yeah, I was going to say the only way we make it happen is Dave Fogarty as the co-main event. Surely,
I'll take an undercard spot. I'll take an undercard Conor McGregor fight all night long. I think that should be built into the contract. If this happens, I'm on the undercard.
Well,
Fogarty's in. That's the
non-negotiable. It's a non-negotiable. I got to be on a little bit early so I can go back, get changed, get the camera going again.
Of course, absolutely.
Non-negotiable.
Best photographer in the game. I tell you that. When I received those pictures, wow, top class.
And you can see why you got
hired for him.
There we go. I'm still waiting.
I have it as my home screen.
Well, Dave Fogarty, thank you so much for the time, sir. Always a pleasure. We hope you heal up soon. And boy, I can't wait for the fight announcement.
I'm looking forward to it too. I'm looking forward to getting back in that Misfits ring. Like I said, I'm a big fan of fighting on Misfits. Big shout out to Mams and all the team for having me on. And I look forward to getting back on there. And the biggest obstacle for me when it comes to this has always been just convincing my wife that this is a good idea. So I keep sending her new kitchens, show her the things that we can do. So when we get her on board, it's easy work. So I look forward to stepping back in that ring. And thanks a lot.
To sign the episode off, Dave, I want to take things to you. And you've had a few names to call out this episode, but call the person that you most want to face on Misfits Boxing.
Yeah, I think that the fight that makes the most sense would obviously be Joey Knight. I got offered Joey Knight when I first was approached by Misfits. Like I said, the timing didn't work out. But I think me against Joey would be a very exciting fight, be a very fan-friendly fight. Like I said, I'm not going to approach this fight like Craig did. I've said it to Joey online. I'll say it to Joey in person. I'll stand in the middle of that ring. I'll bite down on my gum shield and I'll go to war with Joey, no problem. And I know he feels the same. So I think that would be a very exciting, fan-friendly fight that me and Joey could put on. So hopefully, Mams we can make it happen. We can get the timing right and we can get this going.
Well,
listen, I'm here and I'm ready to tell you that Mams has already told me that this one's going on. Sorry to gate crash the interview, but BL's invited me to the party. Little does the Misfits public know, and Dave's just revealed a bit of it there. We were already preparing for each other. I said yes to that fight about 3 weeks or something before I found out that the timings couldn't work and whatnot, and that I ended up fighting Most Wanted. And no doubt I would have burst onto the scene in a lot more interesting fashion had my dance partner have been Dave on the night rather than Most Wanted, without any offence to himself.
Dave, what's your response? You were scheduled to fight him. Can we make it happen? Here on Misfits News.
Yeah, let's get it going. I have a lot of respect for Joey. I think he's one of the best in the division. He's a tough fight for anybody. He packs power. Like I said, I'll stand there and go toe to toe with him. I won't. And it's no disrespect to Craig. He fought a great fight. He fought the fight that he had to fight to
Yeah.
win. That's not my style. I have a come forward, fan friendly style, same as Joey. This is going to be two older gentlemen that are going to meet in the middle. I will put on a fan-friendly fight with Joey, no problem, and I will shake the man's hand before, I'll shake it after, and we can go out after. I know Joey's probably thinking about, he likes the idea of that January card in the UK. I like the sound of a Dublin card. So let's just get Mams on the phone.
Bro, when we know the dates, I'm happy to come and do it in Dublin. Little do you know, I was sat on this bed behind me, watching you on the TV, and I was rooting you on, man. I thought you deserved a fucking medal for having to put up with that twat for the whole of fight week. He was doing my fucking head in. I know you've probably got some sort of mutual respect for him now that you've had to share a ring with him, but I've never heard a fella that talks so much shit and says so little at the same time as Deen the Great. He's a fucking idiot. But who's going to have more excitement for their next fight? I think there'd be more excitement for me against Dave off the back of our last performances than there is going to be for this lightweight tournament. So fuck the belts, fuck the people who everyone wants to say are at the top of the division. Let's go in there and give them a fight of the year contender.
Me and Joey will meet in the center of that ring, and we'll go to war, and we'll shake hands beforehand, we'll shake hands after, but make no mistake about it, we will go to war. I said it in every interview I've done, so is Joey. We will bite down on our gum shield, we will move forward, we will throw bombs, and that's what the people want to see. So we're here to put on a show, so let's go.
Gentlemen, I love it. I can't wait to see it. Dave versus Joey Knight. What a fight that could be later on down the year. I appreciate your time. The Supercard may be coming up, but a super fight between you two may be coming real soon.
Let's go.
What an episode of Misfits News. Some of the latest updates in the world of crossover boxing. As always, I've been your host, Ben the Bane Davis, joined by my co-host, BL. We do have something big coming, a sneak peek at some Qatar Supercard content that we can't wait to share with you. So stay tuned, keep your eyes peeled, and we'll see you in the next episode.